A student at Quality Academics and ambassador for the Yanique Foundation. My guest on the road to success this morning is 18-year-old Adrianne Staple-Ebanks. Welcome, Adrianne.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining me. An issue that we've been talking about among young persons in schools especially is the issue of bullying, an issue of just a traumatizing experience from students, from teachers, and it's really not facilitating a healthy growth in terms of the mental stability, the psychological stability of our young people today. So I want you to tell us about your high school experience. You came from Emmanuel Baptist School. You went to your secondary institution before Quality Academics, so 5 years. So I want you to tell us about it.
Well, it was a difficult transition for me because being moved from a prep school where the environment is clean and the teachers are interested in your performance and your development as a person, it was just hard to be dropped into a classroom in high school that was unclean, where the environment was hostile and you were sort of left to your own devices. And it was especially difficult for me because I stuck out like a sore thumb because I spoke and acted differently than everyone else did. And I wasn't allowed to defend myself. So I think it was especially difficult trying to adjust and fit into this new high school life.
Right.
And it didn't end up working out very well for me.
Okay. I know I was speaking to you moments ago saying you even had an experience where just simply speaking out for a student who must have been spoken down to and by a teacher, and even speaking out saying, no, that's wrong. You were actually penalized or punished for it and made to leave the classroom, or you were teased, you're put behind the grill and so you belong in a cage and all these things. And I want to know exactly what you were feeling at the time in terms of your self-esteem. How do you feel at that point?
I was an emotional mess. I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know if I should feel angry. I didn't know if I should feel sad. In all honesty, I felt hopeless. I felt like the situation is never going to change.
And it affected your grades, I imagine.
Yes, it did.
All right. Now, but from your experience, one positive thing that has happened is that you were able to be a youth presenter at the 4th annual Hush Symposium held in May, partnered with the Yanique Foundation. And Hush Symposium is pretty much about exposing issues that children go through instead of them being shoved under the rug. And so what opportunity, what has come from the opportunity? What greater things have come from this, from you speaking, sharing your experience with others at that symposium?
It allowed me to know that my experience wasn't trivial, because I have this habit of mine where I look at the horrible things that other people have been through, and in comparison, my experience would have seemed like it was nothing. To me, it seemed like it was my own failure and my own weakness.
Right.
It's only now that I understand that that's what the system wanted me to think, wanted me to think that it was my fault, that I needed to change myself, otherwise I was worthless. So when I saw so many people sympathizing with me afterwards, it made me realize that my experience did matter, that it was as horrible as people were making it out to be, and it wasn't just being overblown.
Okay.
And it allowed me to relate with other people.
Well, thank God that you moved to Quality Academics. You yourself had found it a better institution for you, and they looked at you as a person, not just as a statistic. And now you're a totally different person. As much as you sit here and you're quiet, you're a totally different person on a regular basis. You're in clubs now, you're more outspoken, you have a lot of friends. You're just a very outgoing personality. On a whole, you're able to tap into all of your talents. So you're an ambassador for the Yanique Foundation. Yanique is your younger brother who has cerebral palsy. So tell us a little bit about the foundation, the work you've been doing, how it came to being.
The Yanique Foundation was founded 8 years ago, about 2 years after the birth of my youngest brother Nathan, when he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. So the aim of the foundation is to educate teachers and parents and caretakers and entire schools on how to address the issue of disability in the classroom setting or even in the home setting.
Right, right. And I was made aware by your mom, Christine Staple-Ebanks, who actually spearheads the foundation, that there isn't really no room for them in the education system, persons who have cerebral palsy, or maybe persons that have autism, etc. You know, but there's no room for those sort of persons. And so what achievements have been made, what accomplishments have been reached in that area in terms of their education, having them in a system, an education system?
In terms of achievements, she's been able to touch a lot of teachers across the island because she does trainings in a lot of different parishes. So even if she wasn't able to change the entire system altogether, she was able to give teachers, individual teachers and parents, the tools that they would need to deal with these students. So it's the beginning of a slowly changing system. Okay,
fantastic. Now you're in your final year. You're doing your second year of K, final year of high school on a whole, and you're about to enter tertiary education, university. Have you put some thought into where you want to go and what you'd want to pursue? I know you love writing and you're teaching yourself Japanese, so you know, what are some of the ideas that you have for yourself?
Well, I was considering going to UE because UE has a Japanese faculty there that allows you to learn more about that culture and the language, and they even allow you to get in touch with the scholarship program that they have there, the mixed scholarship program, so that you'd be able to travel to Japan and continue your tertiary education there. That's the plan that I have.
That's the plan that you have. So maybe in the next 5 years or so, that's probably where you'll be?
Yes.
All right. So I'd like to bring it back to the foundation, though. And on a whole, your experiences living with someone who has cerebral palsy, having gone through your high school experiences, the traumatization, etc. How are you now able to view persons? How do you perceive persons on a whole, their thoughts, etc., their behavior?
When I see an individual behaving in a way that is ideal or negative, I can't bring myself to judge that person for what they do, because the more I observe people and the more I try to understand them, the more I realize that you can never understand them fully. Because everyone is so unique and diverse, and so many things influence them and make them who they are. So I'm able to appreciate that as a whole, even if I don't appreciate their behavior.
Okay. What do you say to persons who have similar experiences to your own? What would you say to them right now?
I would use a quote that I love to listen to whenever I'm feeling down. The quote says, sorry, I feel nervous.
It's okay, go ahead.
The quote says, "This life can be hard sometimes, but it's a small part of the grand adventure of life. It's not ours to question why things happen, but to move on and face our hardships as they come, roll with the punches, overcome our obstacles. How we act when we face tragedy defines who we are. In the end, hardships is a part of what makes life worth living."
And that's it. Wow. Thank you so much for joining me, Adrianne. I'm really glad I've had the opportunity to have you here, and I'm really glad that a lot of persons are out there watching you right now and knowing that, you know, there's somebody that can identify with them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. My guest on the road to success this morning has been 18-year-old Adrianne Staple-Ebanks of Quality Academics. To learn more about the Nathan Ebanks Foundation, visit www.nathanshelpinghands.org. Also, continue to email me at ontheroadtosuccess.cas@gmail.com. I'm Yanique Dacosta. Up next, it's Jamaica Institution of Engineers, JIE Annual Engineers Week. Stay with us.